I want to introduce you to a model that I've used with my clients for a lot of years now. How it came about was early in my career as an organizer, I really thought that when I would come into my client's workspace, all we needed to do was get rid of the superfluous stuff, tidy things up, label a few things, create a good filing system, and then magical things would happen for the client. But it didn't take me long to realize that getting organized isn't enough, because it takes a lot more than a clean desktop and organized files to be productive. There are a lot of factors that contribute to being productive. But I needed a way to communicate that to my clients because they also believe that if they just organized their office space, magical things would happen for them too. So I developed a productivity assessment tool to help us identify the trouble spots so that we could zero in on the areas that needed attention. And as a result of this, what happened was it took it beyond organizing the workspace and moved it to a bigger picture. In any change process, it's really important for you to assess where you're currently at so that you can correct what needs to be corrected in order to accomplish what you want. And I think this assessment will help in that endeavor. So here's how it's laid out. Looking at the diagram on page 5 of your handouts, and I've also uploaded the diagram in this section as well for your reference, you'll see that there are 4 key areas. So we begin with space. Now, space is the general order of your working space, whether it's an office or a cubicle or a desk somewhere along a wall. It's access to all of the important information and tools with relative ease. Now, this would also include your filing system, whether it's paper, digital, or likely a combination of both. Once that's in relative working order, then we move into tools. Now, tools are the items that manage the influx of all the work that we get, our tasks, our projects, roles, responsibilities, all of those commitments. So what falls under this umbrella are things like email, your task and project management system, but it's also your workflow system. How do you take your work from when it comes to you, moving it through the process to completion? And then we move into performance. And performance is where the rubber meets the road. It's the decisions that you make every single day at work. It's how you plan your work, how you prioritize it so that the most important stuff gets done. But it's also managing things like interruptions or multitasking. That's a form of self-interruption. But it's also perfectionism and procrastination and weak boundaries. And then we move into balance. And balance is that self-care foundational piece that we need to have in order for all the other elements to function well. So your SMART productivity assessment will help identify and examine which areas or behaviors may be limiting your effectiveness at work. Now, it's really simple to do. There's 50 questions on pages 6 through 10. All you need to do is read the statement on the left and then choose the checkbox that comes closest to your current state. There are no right or wrong answers. This is simply for your reference only. Following the assessment, be sure to answer the reflective questions that are at the top of page 11 as well. Now, you may be asking yourself, why is this so important? Well, imagine that this assessment is your entire system. And any system is only as strong as its weakest link. A weak link will affect other links in the system. So for example, what if you have very weak boundaries? You have the inability of saying no. You may have a really strong system for managing everything you do, and maybe you're even a productivity machine. But if you don't learn to say no a little more often, eventually the workload will be too much. And then no matter what systems you have in place, they won't be able to handle the load. And as a result, those other systems or links will also start to fail. Sometimes those piles of files and information sitting all over your office may be a result of something different that's going on, not disorganization. And sometimes all that's needed is to improve that one link just enough so that you can move on, and then the other links will also improve as well. Now, when I work with my clients and using this assessment, I always pay attention to those check marks that are in those first 2 columns, never and rarely, because those are likely the problem areas. So you want to pay attention to those. And when you can identify the weak areas, then you know the exact knowledge, skills, and abilities that you need to acquire, develop, or apply to improve your performance. You can also use this as a measurement tool. If you're really committed to improving your productivity and you're taking steps to change things, you can go back and reassess yourself so you can gauge your improvement along the way. So it does kind of double duty for you. On page 12 of your workbooks, I also do have some what I call KSAs, or knowledge, skills, and abilities, that apply to the factors within this assessment. They're just there for your reference as well. You don't need to study them up. So throughout this course, this is what we're going to be exploring, is a lot of the factors, and we're going to be looking at solutions, of course. So good luck with the assessment, and we'll see you in the next section.